when we were going to do a story about assassins. I honestly didn't think that we were going to be filming here in Los Angeles. We're about to meet our contact. Supposedly he's found somebody who's willing to talk to us. You want to come in?
What's up? How you doing?
So he's around here somewhere?
Yeah, he's around the corner. He's just a little nervous and a little iffy about it.
Is he nervous to the point that things can get ugly?
Yes.
It's unsafe for us?
Yes, because Frankie thought like it was a setup. Like if I fix it up, he's like, I'm killing you and everybody else.
Okay, I'm stopping here for a second because I think before we meet him, we should talk. So he's for sure an assassin?
Oh, I've seen people pay $80,000 right in front of me.
For a hit?
Yeah, I've seen it. His attitude just, to me, just like bipolar. Like, he could be cool and it's like, he just like, yeah, that's one crazy right there.
As a journalist covering the underworld, I've seen almost everything that can be trafficked. But there's one trade that's always been just out of reach, where the product is death itself. This is as black as the black market gets.
We have hundreds of gang members, criminals, and people who love to kill for money.
In 2019 and 2020 alone, hitmen murdered nearly 3,000 people around the world, and the killing game shows no signs of letting up.
This is him, right?
Yeah.
You guys better block this out.
By covering you.
Everything changing my voice too.
We're changing your voice.
So it's the only chance you guys got. I can easily take all of you out right now. So, you know, I get a little bit nervous, and so that's when my instincts start kicking in,
Yeah.
You know? But that's just me.
So I'm going to be blunt and just ask you the question. So you kill people?
Yeah.
Pay you to kill people?
That's what you want to call it. If they got the money for it, I don't hesitate, no questions asked.
Is it always here in the city, in LA, or?
No, I go everywhere.
All around the country?
Yeah, to New York, Chicago, Utah.
How many times have you done it?
I can't tell you that.
More than 10?
It's been a few,
Do you remember the first time you did it?
You never forget.
Is it easy?
Hell no, it's never easy. Never easy. But it always gets done.
Do you do any surveillance beforehand?
I don't know how I do it, how it happens.
Yeah, what?
Now you're getting into details now. I can't tell you that.
Do you have limits, though, or boundaries? Are there certain people that...
Of course.
Like what?
No kids, no girls, no women, no kids.
But a father is okay?
Man, I'm good.
Do you have kids?
Of course.
But there is a part of you that has to feel a little bad, knowing that these are people who love them, right? They have family.
I ain't weak like that, lady. Don't get into my kids or talk about my kids anymore.
Okay, I won't talk about your kids anymore.
But now you're making me feel about my kids now. I'm getting a little bit tired now.
You're getting tired?
A little bit irritated, yeah. I'm kind of short-tempered sometimes. We done?
Okay. I mean, if you have to leave, you have to leave.
And just like that, the interview is over.
Bye.
I have so many more questions. So much more I want to know about hitmen and what they do. But assassins are paid to silence their victims and to stay silent about it. In my career, I've run into many people who kill for a living. Sicarios in Mexico.
No se me olvida que hizo meter la mano encima y gritó, no. Le pegué 2 tiros en la cara.
Gang members in Brazil and Colombia.
Está súper feo. Después, él me entregó un machete y me tocó que collarlo.
Even a hitman in Amsterdam.
Would you shoot a journalist if you were paid to?
Yeah, for free.
It's a global phenomenon. Hitmen make headlines around the world.
A hit squad pulls up and a hooded assassin unloads.
Yet, little is known about how contract killers actually work or what drives them to make a living out of killing. For that, I need to go to a country where they thrive like few others. South Africa, where news of the latest hit is an almost daily occurrence.
Yet another whistleblower has been gunned down.
He was assassinated, ambushed by 2 gunmen.
In the last 7 years alone, assassins here have killed more than 1,000 people. I want to know how that's possible.
So how far are we, more or less?
Like 2 minutes.
Okay, so we should start getting closer to you guys here, right?
All right.
I'm on my way to the epicenter of South Africa's assassination epidemic.
So we're following the white Range Rover. The 2 cars are full of bodyguards, one in front and one right behind. This is where things start to get a little heated. So we have to make sure, oh, look at that.
This is not gang territory or cartel country. Incredibly, it's a minibus taxi center, where I'm headed to meet a man with a target on his back.
Look at that. This is insane. I mean, seriously, he's more protected than the president, it seems. Okay, so I'm gonna go out and meet him. Hi, Yanda. How are you? Nice to meet you. You're the most important person in South Africa, it seems, from all your security guys.
Yeah, I would say in this area, I'm the most important person, yes.
Yanda is what is known in South Africa as a taxi boss. He runs a fleet of 500 minibus taxis. A lucrative gig, but not for the faint of heart.
So why so much protection and what's happening around us?
I've been attacked 5 times.
You've been attacked 5 times?
Yes.
By whom?
By the opposition. There's always an opposition. I've been told they are paid more than $1 million
To try to kill you?
to kill me, yes.
In South Africa, the taxi game is big business. The industry transports nearly 70% of South African commuters, with an estimated 10 million commuter trips every day, raking in around $4.7 billion a year. And with so much money at stake, the fight to control the most lucrative routes is brutal.
Police have launched a massive manhunt following a deadly attack on a fully loaded taxi.
A quick search online brings up dozens of videos and news clips that paint a gruesome portrait of the industry.
This latest incident has highlighted the problem of taxi violence.
Rival taxi syndicates torch each other's vehicles. Shootouts are common. And for some taxi bosses, hiring hitmen to take out their competition is the fastest way to higher profits.
Streets have become hunting grounds for assassins involved in an ongoing taxi feud.
Taxi people only believe in one thing. They believe that in order for you to control this, you must kill this person, you know? Even the last incident, I had 1 bullet, AK-47, stuck in my head.
No.
Those are the
wow.
scars, as you can see.
I see it, yeah. And the people that shot at you, were they hired hitmen?
Yes. Hired hitmen, we call them Inkabi.
Do you always feel on edge when you're here in your
Always,
place?
because whenever I'm here, I'm not safe. I always have my firearm. This is my baby.
So if you were to leave right now and walk outside without your bodyguards, what would happen? How long do you think you'd last before somebody tried to shoot at you?
Not more than 15 minutes.
Wow. That's a crazy way to live like that.
Yeah.
Yanda's rivals, the people who he says have hired hitmen to kill him, have their base just around the corner. And he wants to show me what happens when he gets close to their turf.
This feels a lot more unprotected. We're not surrounded by your taxis.
Yes, yes, yes. That side, that's where, if we go there, because anything can happen.
Should we stay here?
No, let's come a little bit, yes.
I'm with you. I'll do whatever you say is safe.
As you can see, those taxis parked there.
Oh, yeah. All the vans over there, that's another parking lot, and that's his rivals, the other taxi association, and the people who he says have been trying to kill him.
Yes, that's correct. Some are coming.
Oh, yeah. They all came out with their own guns. Oh, this is so crazy. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 armed guys, right, walking right towards us. That is crazy. So now they seem to be talking.
But you can see that they're not happy.
No.
I'm in South Africa with a taxi boss, facing down his rivals. Rivals, he says, have hired a hit squad to take him out.
Are we poking the bear a little bit too much here? Are we?
Yes, kind of. But this is our daily life.
Yeah, he's waving us away, saying, go, go, go. And they were obviously not happy that we were there. I mean, I can see how things can change really fast. And
yes.
This can become bad.
Oh, anytime.
The taxi business accounts for nearly half of all assassinations in South Africa, and it's become a breeding ground for a hitman.
How easy is it to hire Inkabi here?
Very easy. In fact, they come to you and ask for a job. Is there anyone we can kill for you?
No.
Yeah.
That's happened?
Yeah, that happens.
Have you ever hired a hitman?
Yes, I have.
To kill somebody else?
To do the same thing that they're doing to me.
You were trying to kill the person who was trying to kill you?
Yes, that's correct.
It seems to be a bit of a cycle, right? Because somebody tries to kill you, you try to kill somebody else, and it seems like it's a never-ending cycle of violence.
That's how it's been happening, and I don't think anyone can be able to stop this.
It's a never-ending cycle of violence that Yanda knows all too well. But when I ask him if he could connect me with a hitman, he says no.
As they've got a lot of enemies. I'm their #1 target. Yeah, I'm not safe.
What he did tell me was this. Some taxi bosses have a side hustle, running networks of assassins that they hire out for high-paying hits on whistleblowers, business leaders, and politicians. We're joining an elite anti-gang unit on a raid as they close in on one of these assassin networks.
We're heading for the house that is believed to belong to a taxi boss. It's a convoy of about 20 cars and about 35 men.
We're in one of Durban's vast urban slums, created during the country's era of forced racial segregation, known as apartheid. It was a violent system designed to keep black South Africans in poverty, and its dark legacy remains.
There's information that this taxi boss has Inkabis, commonly known as hitmen, that are wanted staying in his premises. So we just got to be vigilant.
As we pull up, the SWAT team storms the house.
Look, look. Oh, yeah. You see them? Come in. Fred, you want to follow?
7 years of breaching tool.
So they're breaching the door right now. Okay, so he says that's it. Hey, can't go closer. For a dozen men, sort of securing the premise, watching all windows and access points. I'm gonna go behind you, yeah?
Is it clear? Clear?
Is it clear? It seems to be clear right now. So they have a suspect here on the floor right here, and they're still searching.
Is a rifle there? Okay.
So far, they've recovered 3 firearms, and I believe they have 1 more suspect being taken out now.
The police tell me the suspected hitman was caught with an illegal automatic weapon and was dressed in the uniform of a private security company, which I've heard is a disguise that hitmen here often use. That's because in South Africa, licensed security guards, like Yanda's men, are allowed to carry fully automatic firearms, not available to the average person.
Oh, so that's the assault rifle? What kind is it?
This is a single R5.
An R5?
So this is similar to a police automatic rifle that our members carry.
Wow, how do they get their hands on these guns?
Well, we'll have to check whether they are stolen. So at this stage, we do not know.
South Africa is awash with illegal firearms. More than 2 million of them. And they're fueling the assassination epidemic. Unlicensed weapons are harder for the police to trace, which makes it easier for the assassins to do their work. Globally, assassins are known to use car bombs, IEDs, and poison. But firearms are their weapon of choice. So if I want to find an active hitman, my best bet is to follow the trail of illegal guns. I head north to the outskirts of Johannesburg to meet a contact who can help.
Rudy?
Rudy.
Come on in. You tell me how to go, right?
Turn left.
This guy that we're meeting, what can you tell me about him? Is he?
He can organize weapons.
Oh, so he buys and sells weapons?
Buy and sell weapons, yeah. Go right here. Yeah, you can put down the cameras.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put cameras down, guys. We're getting close.
The organizer, who we'll call Vusi, is running late. And when he finally arrives, he explains why.
Okay, so you went to the police station, is that right? Why?
The person that I'm working with in the police station, he wanted to give us something.
So the 9mm, you got that from the police?
Yes. Say they arrest you with a gun today. That gun, they're going to sell to somebody like me.
Vusi tells me that he's bought dozens of handguns from the police. His source for heavy weapons is equally shocking.
These assault rifles, those ones are from the army.
You get them from the military?
Yes.
And what kind of weapons are we talking about?
Maybe an R5, R4.
The R5 is the same model assault rifle I saw the police confiscate from a suspected hitman.
Most of your clients use it for what?
Armed robbery and assassinations.
We really want to meet an Inkabi, a hitman who's currently active. Do you know anyone that you could introduce us to?
I don't know if you will agree, but there is one.
Unfortunately, his assassin turns us down. But I get lucky. Another local source comes through with an introduction.
But this is it. It's after many weeks trying to get a hitman to talk to us. And it looks like we finally have one who's agreed.
It's still surreal to me that this profession even exists, that someone kills for a living. I'd feel more comfortable if assassins remained a Hollywood trope, with their cool detachment from death,
Ahora vas a conocer a Dios.
their effortless mastery of weapons, and their impressive Old Testament knowledge.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance.
I do this for a living!
But the reality is much less slick. And in a way, perhaps more scary.
So, Jojo, right?
Yes.
It's okay if I call you Jojo?
Yes, fine.
Well, how did you start? How did you get into this business?
There's always a killing that needs to be done. Every day, somebody needs to die. Whether drugs, taxis, even politics now. It's busy. Constantly, people need to die.
I'm in South Africa, investigating the world of professional assassins.
Jojo, did you go to school?
Yes, went to college. It was very hard to find work. Then there's no money coming in. Then you meet yourself with other people selling drugs. You be like a hitman for the person selling drugs.
And how many people do you think you've killed in your life?
In total, I would say close to 30.
Close to 30 people.
Yes, I would say. Now, how do I put this? Killing is it's part of our routine. We don't even want to know what he did or who he is. As long as he has money, we don't care.
How much do you get paid per hit?
If it's 100K, you end up getting roughly 25 or 30K.
So that's about $1,400, more or less.
Yes.
Who gets the rest?
I don't go alone. You're not John Wick, so you need backup.
So how many people do you work with?
3, and then the driver. If I kill you, I have to kill your backup too. Your brothers, your friends. They must also die.
One thing that we've heard is that the police are sometimes even warned when there's going to be a killing.
Yeah, and most of the time they know. If you have police under your payroll, they'll do as you say. Then you just go in and then you do the hits.
Why do you think the situation is so bad in South Africa?
Poverty. You know, South Africa is not a poor country. It's just that the rich people keep the wealth to themselves. Then the below average people, you struggle to live.
Jojo reminds me of some of the other killers I've met. Mostly young, always poor, driven to crime because they believe it's the only choice they have. In Mexico, these young men saw it as a shockingly normal career path. In Amsterdam, this hitman grew up in a violent drug-dealing family.
First my brother and I, and then my other brother, my nephew, other nephew.
They're all killers?
Killers and dealers.
It's a grim reality. And as I heard in Los Angeles, too, it often starts young.
How old were you the first time?
I want to say I was about 18. That's all I saw. Growing up, the gangbanging, the killing, the drug sales, all that. I survived. I had to fight a lot. I had to do what I had to do. It's the way life is. Heartless. You either survive or you die.
You as an average person, it's either you die crying or you die fighting. It's your choice.
Do you mind me asking what your parents did?
They passed away when I was very young, both of them.
Were they killed?
Yes. That was the turning point.
I started carrying a knife in my pockets because your parents are your protection. Now I don't have protection anymore.
What did you think of the person that killed your parents?
I wanted to kill them very badly.
So you do realize that you're doing the same thing to other kids, right? You had a really hard life because your parents were killed, and you're basically doing the same thing to other children.
Yeah, I never thought it that way, but
You never thought about this?
never ever. But most of the time, make myself feel better because I know the people I'm going after are also bad people.
But are they? Do you consider yourself a bad person?
Yeah. I've been in this thing for a very long time. I think along the way, I lost who I am.
Yeah, I mean, it was, it is horrible what he does. It is horrible, horrible. It's the worst thing you can do as a human being is to take another human being's life. But at the same time, you hear his story and you can understand how people fall into this pattern and this cycle of violence, of his parents being killed and then himself becoming a killer. As controversial as this may sound, I felt sorry for him, yeah, but I feel more sorry for the people that he's killing and for the families of the people that he's killing, of course, but yeah, it's a really hard one, yeah. Still, the next stop on this journey is clear. If I really want to understand assassins, I need to understand the damage they do.
A hit has been taken out on you or your husband. We also know that you drop off your tips. It's just a matter of days. You guys will be murdered.
So I heard the gunshots. Then I started panicking. I rushed outside. That's when I found him.
Johanna Peña's husband, Eric, was assassinated in October of 2022. Witnesses say 2 hitmen opened fire on Eric's car minutes after he dropped his children off at school.
I still have flashbacks of him lying in the car with the bullet holes. I tried to call his name, sweetie, wake up,
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Johanna and Eric ran a technology company that was working with the government on a project when they noticed a government official trying to steal funds. Johanna says her husband reported the fraud to the police and then testified against the official. His honesty proved fatal. Johanna and her children are now in hiding, afraid the hitman will return to kill them.
My daughter was like, Mama, what kind of a life are we living? Because after we buried my husband, they were still following us. They went to their school. I remember covering her. I'm like, it's fine, I can die, but God let her live. And it's hard living in fear. My kids are in pain. They're fatherless. They miss their dad. I miss him. I miss my best friend.
There's some nice houses here, huh?
Very nice. Shopping. movies. You can bring your girlfriend here on a date.
Jojo wasn't involved in Eric's killing. But as I ride with him through Durban, I'm very aware of the parallels.
So if you do have a target who would live in a neighborhood like this, how would you go about it?
You first have to learn the routine, trace them through social media, look at the places they go to, the people they usually tag in their posts. Everything has to be discreet, you know, it has to be perfect. If it's a residential neighborhood like this, there's many ways you can go in, you know. You can be dressed as police, knock on the door.
Wait, dressed as police? How do you get a police uniform? Is that easy?
Oh yes, it's easy. You would have one police who can just sell us a few.
Do they know what it's for?
Yes, they know.
So, is that your preferred method?
That's the easiest and more preferred method. I'll walk up right here.
Right here?
Yes. You know, as they're talking, just not suspecting like that. I walk right up. If I feel like greeting, I'll greet them. Then just shoot them in the head. Chest and head. Head is to make sure that they're definitely gone.
Have you ever shot women and children as well?
Women, no. There has been situation where there were kids.
But that you
killed the father and you left.
But the kids were there in the house as well?
I don't want to think about it too. I'd rather get drunk. That's our coping mechanism. You can't be sober every day doing this.
It's hard to hear these details and not think about what Joanna and her children are now going through. But it's telling that she doesn't blame the hitman.
I blame the police. They failed us. They knew the suspects. They could have done something about it.
Following Eric's assassination, the police tracked down the hitman. They found the cars they drive and an address where they're known to frequent.
They know the suspect and they're not doing anything.
So nobody has been arrested? Nothing has happened to anyone? Because
no.
You think that it's related to the business deal, the contract that you...
Yeah.
For sure.
100%. 100%.
Time and again, this is what we've heard.
If you have police under your payroll, they'll do as you say.
So the 9mm, you got that from the police?
Yes.
But I want to understand how deep the corruption goes. And for that, I need to speak to someone on the inside.
He told us to meet him in P6, and hopefully he'll be there. Lawrence? What you're doing is not only risky, but incredibly brave.
That's why I'm putting the mask. Because of the target. It's very dangerous. I will be killed.
Because there's so much risk in doing this, why did you want to talk to us?
Police are scared of criminals, but the truth needs to be told.
This is Torrance. It's not his real name. He spent over 25 years in the South African Police Service.
I've seen it so many times, the police themselves giving the criminals their own uniform to kill people.
You actually saw some of your colleagues give their uniform to criminals, to hitmen.
Yes. The police themselves, when they recover the guns, they go back and sell them.
Have you seen that? It's happening?
Yeah, I've seen it so many times.
With your own eyes, like you saw it?
In my own eyes.
They know full well that these are assassinations, that people are going to be murdered.
Definitely. They've got the rotten police inside, that they'll advise those criminals. They'll tell those criminals what to do, how to do,
Do you know police officers who also became hitmen?
Yes, there is.
So they work for the hitman, and in some cases they're hitmen themselves?
Yeah, and definitely. If you are arrested, you'll buy the police inside the prison.
Wherever murder goes unpunished, contract killings become a tool of the powerful, a way to protect corrupt interests. That's true in Mexico, when drug cartels slay journalists.
4 journalists have been killed in Mexico in just the past 2 months.
In the Amazon, when illegal loggers kill activists.
A Peruvian environmentalist and 3 other community leaders have been killed in a region bordering Brazil.
Or in the Netherlands, when drug gangs silence witnesses before a trial.
Mafia-style murders in the Netherlands has led to questions about whether drug gangs are threatening the rule of law.
The fear of assassination becomes a powerful tool of control, especially when the institutions supposed to be fighting back are in on the take. This is not just a handful of cops that are corrupt. You're talking about systemic corruption. How far up do you think the corruption actually goes in South Africa?
Up to the top level. Nobody can stop it, no matter how much they try.
Why not?
Because of the people that are inside.
So every single person we spoke to for the story has mentioned police corruption. This is Becky Chelly, South Africa's Minister of Police.
Your job is to enforce the law.
Once an activist who spent time in the same prison as Nelson Mandela and survived an assassination attempt at the hands of the apartheid regime. We've heard police selling guns, police being involved in assassination plots. It's systemic corruption. What do you say to that?
I think it's exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
There are very, very corrupt and dangerous cops, but that number does not surpass the number of the good police. That there are many good cops.
Some of the things that we've heard is that the police have been clearing the area for assassinations to take place, renting their own uniforms for the hitmen to disguise themselves as police. It's more than just corruption. It's that they are actually actively involved in these killings, in these assassinations.
And it's not denied.
So that you have knowledge that this is happening.
Exactly. No doubt about that. People are dying.
In 2016, South Africa created a special task force to address its assassination crisis. Since then, Becky Chelly says 337 assassins have been arrested.
Unfortunately, among those people that you have arrested for those matters are 47 members of the South African Police Service.
Well, that's an enormous number, but that doesn't make you feel any safer to think that those are the people that have been arrested, so you can only imagine how many are out there.
There are many of them, no doubt about it. But it would be unfair to say that government is not fighting back on this cause. Have we won? No. Are we doing something? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very fair. Minister, one more question. You have fought hard for democracy in this country. You yourself were an activist. You were arrested while fighting for democracy in this country. Is this the democracy that you envision when you have widespread and systemic corruption, like you said, but also when people try to fight it, they can be killed? I spent time with this woman, and it's a story I will never forget. Her name is Johanna Pena. I'm with Becky Chelly, South Africa's Minister of Police. Her husband and her started exposing corruption within the government and started receiving death threats. She went to the police, gave them all the evidence. The police did nothing, and a few weeks later, her husband was killed. So what would you say to people like Johanna? And there are many of them out there.
Well, South Africa has a very high degree of murders, but there are many of them that have been prevented to be hit. Unfortunately, those stories don't make their way to the media. But
So you know about this case?
I have heard about it, yes.
Because I think the message that it sends is more than just killing one person. It sends a message of fear.
No, you can't accept that. The effort, let me admit, not adequate, is not enough. Yes, we have a problem, but we are fighting it.
Ultimately, though, fighting this black market is more difficult than most. There's no product to bust, no supply chain to track. Just a simple agreement between a corrupt client and a willing contractor, desperate enough to be selling the unthinkable.
Joanna, do you think that the people that did this, do you think they're aware of what they did, of the suffering?
They don't care. They don't care. They are just hitmen. They are working. And for them is to make money.
I don't even think of these people. I don't want to lie. I don't even remember their faces. I'm just trying to live. I'm just trying to survive.
I sense that the only way Jojo and some of the other hitmen I've met can justify the savagery of their work is to convince themselves that they have no other choice, that there's no going back.
Whatever they're trying to make you see in the movies and all that, this doesn't work like that. So, I gotta save my ass. You gotta remember that. If I go to jail, ain't nobody gonna be here to feed me. Nobody gonna be here to take care of me. I gotta take care of my own.
In time, killing becomes the only thing they know, whether that's in South Africa, Mexico, or Los Angeles.
Would you want to get out of this if there was another way of making as much money?
Honestly, no.
Why not?
It's gotten to the point I like it.
So you're not just saying this because we've got cameras. You actually feel this way.
It's fine. I like it. And I've gotten real good at it.
In South Africa, hitmen perform a traditional ritual, bathing in blood and bile to protect themselves from the spirits of the people they've murdered.
If there's one thing I'm afraid of, that's God. I feel bad thinking of my last days, Judgment Day. Problems from the past will catch up to me. If you kill somebody, people are looking for you. That's guaranteed.
I can't imagine choosing a life like the one Jojo has chosen. Assassins wield the power of life and death. But they're also vulnerable, expendable, and infinitely replaceable. They're part of a culture of killing that grows in places where corruption and greed rule. Places that have little respect for the rule of law.
To be quite honest, none of it is worth it. I've had to run for years. I've had to go in hiding. It was not easy. And I have been wanting to stop for a very long time. But sometimes you're in too deep.
It's a vicious cycle. When assassins kill, they do more than silence a person. They silence the truth, instill fear, embolden the corrupt and powerful, and leave the poor with fewer and fewer choices.